G'day, how's it going? Welcome to sunny Brisbane, Australia, my hometown. I was very fortunate to go over for a few weeks recently and got to play a disc golf tournament in Brisbane while I was there. The tournament is called the Yeronga Memorial, and the course we played on was the Freeney Street disc golf course at Rockley. It was an awesome experience, and I filmed some of the tournament so you can watch and enjoy, see what an Australian disc golf tournament looks like. Here we are walking up to the tournament HQ area. It's absolutely chaos there in the morning when everyone was getting their player pack discs. They just had heaps of random discs for people to grab. I got a Caster Plus Berg, so stoked on that. Oh, this is Michael. I actually ended up playing with him in the final round, so you'll see more of him later. But yeah, it was really cool, just hanging out. Was a little bit weird not knowing anyone. I mean, I know so many people from the New Zealand disc golf scene that to be at a tournament and not know anyone, it was just a little bit weird, but everyone was super friendly. Probably the one major difference that I noticed was that the MPO field was super small, so I'm not sure if they are a bit more strict on rating guidelines and stuff like that in Australia, but yeah, like heaps more amateurs in the field. And I think there was only like 5 MPO compared to New Zealand, where in a regular tournament you might get like upwards of 10 to 15. So that was the biggest difference. Here we are heading out to our first round. I was playing in the intermediate division, MA2, didn't want to push myself too far, this being my first overseas tournament and on a course that I was pretty unfamiliar with. So I Gwen filmed some clips from the first round, and then I tried to get every single throw from the final round. This is hole 2 of the course, par 4, that's my second throw, nice upshot, and I believe I got a birdie on this one. Oh, here we go, split screen. This is my practice run up versus my throw. I think I nailed that, pretty happy. Don't often match my form, so yeah, pretty stoked with that. Nice turnover, this is the next hole. Dogleg right, all of that rough on the right is OB. This is the putt I had left. And just missed it. Oh, I should probably go through my card mates. We have here, this is Leith, he was playing an Open, and the 2 people you just saw previously, they're on the right of screen now, putting is Emmanuel, and his dad is John. So they are, obviously Emmanuel was in the juniors, and John was in novice, or recreational, not sure, and I was in intermediate, so big spread of divisions on this card. But it's round 1, so that's what you're going to get. I was really impressed with the variety of holes, variety of baskets. That was a terrible spit out, putting for par there. Yeah, just really great variety. Well, how many holes was it? I think it was 19 holes, because I had a slightly expanded field. Pretty stoked with that birdie. So all in all, I was actually feeling really good. I was hitting a lot of the lines I was aiming for, getting the landing zones, making a lot of really good putts, and I actually found myself on my first ever lead card for the final round intermediate. That was my final putt of the round, so like massive stoke. So this is the lead card. We've got Michael, Dom, and myself really close there at the top, and weird quirk of the card, we've also got Chris from the rec division. Not quite sure why he made it on lead card, but hey, he's along for the ride too. Fist bumps before the round, let's get into it. First hole of the final round, I was throwing my glow harp.
I'm not going to the basket, I'm laying up.
And as you heard there, I'm just laying up because that tree on the right is a Mando left, and in the first round I threw long right and got a bogey, so more than happy to take my par there. Next hole, technical throw through a gap. I managed to take the inside line and miss all the trees.
Not a line. Fine shot. Wasn't the gap I was aiming for.
And this is Michael. He's a local crusher and laces a beautiful throw.
Yep. Yeah.
Through the smallest gap.
The tightest line.
The first one, right side of the second one.
And he can't believe it.
Wow.
Just check this out. So you got these 2 trees in a line, and his disc is fading in front of the first tree and behind the second tree. Insane. So this is for birdie. And I get it. So at this point of the round, I'm feeling so good. Everyone's like amazed. They're like, who the heck is this guy? Just international player coming on, crushing.
So good. Go in.
Beautiful turnover. I'm happy with that one. I don't think I made the putt. Yeah, that's for par. And we all walk away with pars on that one. This is an uphill one. Really shielded by that tree. So I'm just going to throw this way out right and hope that it hyzes into the island green, which it does. And I think I've got about a 5-meter putt. This is Dom, absolutely silky smooth forehand, and he parks it under the basket. Joy to watch. Just a bit low. Disappointed with that one. But that's alright. Cleaning up my par. Throwing my Chameleon Warship downhill. This one's about 90 meters. Beautiful turnover. Just gets past that bush. And I've parked it, so I'm happy with that. But what I'm not happy with is hitting the band from 2 meters out. And so I could have got a stroke on the card there. Alright, this is onto the temporary holes. And I throw my St. Pro straight into the first tree. Which, not ideal. And I've got this horrible pattern pending because the tree's right there. And I absolutely shank it. Grip lock into another tree. Not only is it in a tree, it's OB. There's an OB line there. I'm not in a good place. So now I have to get through all these trees. This is still probably about 90 meters to the basket. And I come up probably about 25 meters short, so just a little pitch up. And still not really under the basket, so I've probably got a 5-meter tester here. And off the band. And so now I'm looking at a triple bogey. Oh no. Dom misses his putt. Wasn't feeling too great here on the 6th hole, to be honest. My round is going quite well, and it's starting to fall apart a little bit. Oh no, it looks like Chris's round's falling apart as well. Let's see if Michael can save the card and get a putt. And he hits the band, and we cannot believe it. All of us have 5-meter putts or less. And we all miss the putts. And look at that scorecard. That is horrific. Here I am trying to save my round, even though we're only 7 holes in. Felt worse than it was. Threw a nice turnover like I did in the first round, and I've got a pretty decent putt from about circle's edge. I believe that Dom was parked pretty close, and so this is for a stroke on half of the card. And it skips off the basket, off chains, and I have to tap in a really sad par, because that would have been great to get. This is the point of the round where you're just like, okay, just slow down, focus on the basics, bring it back. And my mental game was actually feeling pretty good for this entire round, even though I wasn't really performing at the level that I wanted to, not getting the birdies, but I was actually feeling alright, which is probably the most important thing. But anyway, this is where my drive landed, and I managed to keep it high, aim just below the band, and I dropped that one in for a birdie, so that's not too bad. But then we have Michael here. He hasn't got a birdie yet in the round. He's, what, 3 over for the round? He sinks the putt, brings it back, so he's only 2 over now. Onto our hole 8, which is hole 5 on the course. Quite a technical hole, actually. I'm throwing my Tournament X sword, trying to get as far down as I can. You actually don't want to go too far, because there's heaps of trees that kind of pinches you off. There's a double Mando further down that you need to get through, and I was pinched off, so you can't really see it. I mean, those 2 trees that I'm kind of aiming towards is the double Mando, which I get it between, but my swan turns over and then turns into a roller and rolls long. I didn't realize that there was a path there that was an OB line, so I actually went beyond the path.
Oh, really? Oh, damn.
There you go, should have checked the course map more. So I went OB, so this is a putting, I think I'm putting for par here. Hit the pole, tap in for bogey. Unfortunate. And actually Chris gets the par there, so the rec player gets a stroke on the MA2s. For this one, Gatekeeper just kept it high right because I didn't want to go into the creek left. And I pick up the birdie, the sole birdie of the card. Playing a little bit up and down here, but I'm glad to get these birdies when I can. These couple of holes in the back corner were pretty scoreable, so I was really trying to make these ones count. This one was about 80 meters uphill, Mando right of that gum tree, so I was throwing my glow harp, just trying to get it to skip up the mound to the raised basket. Let's see what Michael can do. Ah, just off chains. Nice bid though. Okay, let's see if I can not make the same mistake. Hoping to go 2 birdies in a row and try and put some pressure on these guys. Took my time there, but just off chains. Ah, well. At least I'm getting it chain high, giving them good runs. I mean, I gotta say, even though some of my putting has been pretty terrible so far, I was still feeling pretty good compared to how I normally putt. Happy to take those. This was one of the hardest holes of the day. I don't think there were any birdies in round 1. It's kind of like this peninsula little section of fairway, then there's a creek, then there's a kind of peninsula section of green, and then there's another OB section behind.
But I didn't go OB, so who's the real winner here? Me.
I said I didn't go OB there because I threw my disc in the creek in the first round, which I had to go rescue during the lunch break. Here's Michael's rip, and this is phenomenal. He makes it over the creek, and he lands in the green. And he is suitably stoked, because that was awesome. I've got a pretty tight run up here, throwing my warhorse to try and spike it into the green, going around that pine tree. And I am OB. So here I go, trying to save my bogey. And again, good height, just weak side. Temporary helix baskets not being my friend today. And that's Michael in for 2. Phenomenal.
Great 2.
I think he was the only birdie on this hole for the entire day, so that was awesome to see. Next hole, just got to miss this tree, and I throw it straight into the tree. I wasn't feeling super great after that last bogey, and it obviously shows here on a basic par 3, can't even hyzer it around a tree. And it just goes to show how important it is to know the course really well and rely on your basic skills, even when your round isn't going the way you want it to. But here we go, Michael. He is getting some birdies. So he's the guy to watch on the card, but at this point, someone from Chase Card was absolutely crushing. I think they were like 7 or 8 down for the round through like, what are we, 13 holes? Unbelievable.
Good tree.
My drive on this one, this was the longest hole of the day, threw it straight into a tree, and I was straight underneath the tree. So this was the most awkward run-up I've ever had. Had to pull through to miss the stake, but I shanked it right into the creek. My Saint Pro, second time it went into the creek that day. I'd already fished it out at lunchtime, and then I went back in. So this is my third throw from the creek bank. It was actually a lot better. You can't actually see where it went here, but it went through the main fairway gap and went long of the basket, which is a really good result considering where I was. This is my putt, got about 8 meters. Hits the top of the basket. Unfortunately, get the double bogey on this one, going OB and missing the putt. That was a tough one to miss because I really need these strokes. Hole 11, I got a birdie on this one in the first round. Hang it over the creek, let it fade back into the green.
It's dry though.
Pretty happy with that. I think I'm probably about 8 meters out from the basket. Oh, this is a roller from Chris. Over the creek.
Jump across the creek. Hit something, go over. Oh.
A little bit loose. So yeah, got about 8 meters here to make the birdie, which I putt low, hit cage, and that's going to be an unhappy par, but not too much damage. Other guys getting pars as well.
What are you throwing there?
Wash it.
That's money.
Oh yeah.
Get in. Is that a mid? Oh.
Yeah. Great shot.
Not too bad. Not too bad. You got pretty good. I got pretty good. Fell over and just made it.
Kept that in because there was a guy watching, and Dom's throw almost went OB, and mine hit the pure line, and for Dom he said pretty good, and for me he said not too bad, so not sure what he thought was going on. Anyway, missed the putt, so it didn't matter. Pretty unhappy, lacing these drives, but not getting the return on the putting. Probably getting a bit tired at this point of the round. I threw the exact same throw as this in the first round. Perfect turnover with the warship, but this time it fades out at the end. No good. So there's a drop zone on this one. Throwing for 4, and that was terrible. I actually miss my next putt, so this is my tap in for 5. At this point of the round, just feeling tired, a little bit annoyed at how my game's going, so I ripped this one into the island green. Too weak, comes out left. So actually none of us made the green on this one, which was hilarious. We all had to throw from this drop zone. But I was the only one that got the putt, saved the par. Got the RPM Helix love there.
The RPM risk.
Yeah.
Feeling alright going into the final hole, but obviously could have played a lot better. Fist pumps to finish up. This is our final hole of the day. I know that I'm nowhere near top 5 because there's been such a good performance from the chase card. Like, you're going to see the scorecard later, and it's absolutely insane. Michael and Dom were actually holding on. They were playing pretty good, around even. That was my putt for final birdie of the day, and I chain out, which is kind of the story of how my round went in the end. Even though I lost a lot of strokes on the fairway, if I made a lot of those circle putts, I would have been much better off. But anyway, I finished on 67 strokes. Now that was 8 over par, so massive swing from the first round. All I kind of wanted to do going into that was shoot 2 rounds under par, but hey, you know how tournaments go, wasn't for me. But check this out, Hayden with the hot 10 under par for the final round, and he shoots up to first place at 8 under overall. Crazy good golf. We've also got Michael and Dom from lead card in second and third. They did really well to hold on. Going down a whole bunch of people, there I am tied for 10th. Not quite the finish I wanted for my first ever lead card, but you know, tried my hardest, I learnt a lot, and I had a really good time, and that's all that matters. Now, as I fish my St. Pro out of the creek, I'll wrap things up. Overall, I had an absolute blast playing this tournament. If you ever get the chance, please play an overseas tournament. They're so much fun and you'll learn a lot. Thanks to all my card mates at the Yeronga Memorial, had heaps of fun. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please like and subscribe. Put a comment down below. Let me know which international tournament you'd most like to play. Catch you in the next one.